Hello, precious friends. My name is Dwain Esmond. I want to welcome you into a brand new week of study in our adult Bible study guide. This week, we continue our study into the book of Psalms and the wonderful truths and blessings they have for our spiritual experience. And in the Psalms this week, we're going to learn how to pray. Teach us to pray is our title this week. Now, those words ought to mean something to us. In Luke chapter 11 and verse 1, it was Jesus who was praying marvelously in heartfelt devotion to his Father. And his disciples said, Lord, I don't know what you're doing over there, but your prayers don't sound like anything that I do. Teach us to pray as John the Baptist taught his disciples to pray. And Jesus does just that. He teaches them how to pray. Sometimes we think that prayer ought to be spontaneous, that it ought to be something that just flows from our hearts and that those are the best prayers. Yes, but we can also learn how to pray, how to target our prayers and focus our prayers. And we're going to do that this week. We're going to learn how on Sunday, how the Psalms how to foster the use of the Psalms in our prayer life. That's Sunday. We'll also learn about prayer in troubling times, Psalms for troubled times, Psalms in times of despair, Psalms that move us from despair to hope, and then laments that restore us. On Thursday, we'll talk about restoration. That is the desire of our hearts when we sometimes come to God in prayer. But Sunday's lesson is on fostering the use of the Psalms in prayer. We pray to God for many reasons, and the Psalms are terrific for that. We've got Psalms of praise and Psalms of thanksgiving and Psalms of lament. We ought to take a psalm, like Psalm 1, for instance, and just read it through and reflect on it. We're going to learn in this day, on Sunday, how to reflect on the psalm. Sometimes we've got to pray a psalm that is specific. Read something that has to do with something happening in our lives, something, maybe a lament or a note of penitence. And when we look at the Psalms in general, we want to make sure that we're trying to see Jesus even in the Psalms. Is there something in that reading? Is there something in the way the author expresses it that not only captures your personal experience, but also leads you in the direction of Jesus? Is there something you need to change? Sometimes when we read the Psalms, they tell us and remind us that our motives are not right, or what we're praying for is not really right. We can course correct in that moment and be sure that we are on point with God. My prayer today and my prayer this week is that you will be blessed as we learn how to pray.